for our third best of 3. The God of Terran, the top-notch GSL #1. It's MVP. His name could not be more appropriate.
Yeah, and he's up against SOS, who is not that shy anymore.
Nope.
He's actually sending out SOS signals now.
You can see in our previous best of 3, Baby was able to advance 2-0 over Symbol and will remain in Code S, really improving quite substantially since he got that seed.
Yeah, playing one of the best TVZ mech plays on Cloud Kingdom that I've ever seen in my entire life. Definitely one of the guys that you should watch out for in the next Code S season. Symbol was also pretty impressed. And now we are waiting for Entombed Valley to load with the Terran versus Protoss, our first today. MVP versus SOS, and that should be really interesting.
Yeah, I think it will be.
The fact alone that we have MVP in Code A is like, what?
It's a little bit strange, it's hard to believe. I would favor MVP slightly in this match, but I think SOS's Protoss versus Terran is quite deadly. And if MVP doesn't prepare well, which that would be kind of un-MVP-like, but if he is off, his wrists are bothering him, he has an off day, I think SOS will definitely take it, he'll grab the opportunity.
Wolf, if MVP doesn't prepare well, you mean if water isn't wet?
Yeah. If water isn't wet, if fire isn't hot.
Well, they definitely both prepared really, really well for this match. This is the 3rd round of Code A. This is the game you do not want to lose. If you win here, you are back in Code S. If you lose, you have to go through the up and downs. Still have a chance to go into the GSL Premier League, but it's going to be a bit more difficult when you are in this group and have to be one of the top 2 players.
Yeah. SOS, man, he doesn't need anybody's help.
Rank,
his ID is SOS.
Rank 1 for MVP here in the ranking.
As I mentioned before, this guy is #1 and he pretty much always will be. Until he retires from pro gaming, I don't see any way he drops off. He has had very few slump periods. He's one of the most consistent pro gamers of all time, if not the most consistent.
Yeah. SOS is pretty evil though. He's the 66 in the ranking. We have him to the right side. Looking good in his shirt, and MVP of course as well, starting for GIM. Wounding Stars here with their Protoss player. Entombed Valley, our first map.
Yeah. There's a Woongjin bus outside.
Yeah, an entire bus for one player.
There's only one player here, but there was a big bus outside. I'm not sure if that's how the fangirls got here or if he just has a private bus that he takes to the studio, but either way, man, looks like a pretty big deal. But the bigger deal here is what people have called the Game Genie Terran. I am MVP on the left side there. Only one player can stay in Code S. Who's it going to be, MVP or SOS here at the GSL Code A, cast by Outer Wolf?
We got the crowd on the wave like it's a stadium. Call me the weatherman, it's about to be a great weekend. Come on the cloud.
He's a multi-time champion to the bottom left of the map. We have on Entombed Valley in our first game the Terran player for Team LGIM. It is
LGIM MVP.
4-time GSL champion, you can see it, he wears it on his shirt.
Man with the pins, and he's...
Yeah, I was just saying that's how everyone knows whose shirt that is at the LGIM house. At the top left, of course, though, the Woongjin Stars player, it is SOS. I said his name.
Woongjin Stars SOS.
Street Fighter voice should kill you.
I know, I'm really scared now.
Well, in the Code S group that we have, pretty cool keyboard here, by the way, has a couple of black keys on a white.
Yeah, it looks like
CT35.
Actually, I'm not so sure if that's CT35. It looks like a 10 kilos keyboard. There's no number pad. He's got, the arrow keys were the ones he had black. That's interesting.
So in the last Code S season group that MVP played in, he had to face DRG and Creator, and he lost against them. So, well, against both of them, he didn't win a single map, dropped into Code A, and now he was able to win against Flying, a Protoss player, in the last round. Now he faces another one. He's facing Shy here, and Shy, on the other hand, he defeated Shine. SOS took down Shine in the last round. In his Code S group, he lost to Sniper in the deciding game. That was the one game that decided it all for him. So now both of them want to go back into Code S, but only one of them will be able to do it.
MVP is going gases here. No surprises. SOS, on the other hand, takes a second gas. That could be for anything. And you know, when you're playing against someone who is so hard to prepare for, like MVP, because he has shown so many different builds, taking a second gas can give you a lot of vision, but it can also grant you the ability to do an all-in, which may be what we see here with this interesting third pylon placement, or second, excuse me, from SOS.
The thing about MVP just is he always prepares well. He knows what you're going to do, and he is not afraid to throw in a cheese or two if he thinks that you are playing too greedy. That's what he said over and over again in interviews. If you play greedy against me, you will die. I will be aggressive, I will push, and you will not be able to hold. He has so many builds, he's shown it over and over again. This is a guy who's good with preparation, always had a few problems with his health, especially with his wrists, but he is one of the strongest opponents that you can face in StarCraft 2.
Yeah. He's just a dangerous guy. But it is just going to be, oh wow, speaking of aggression, he's actually going up to 4 barracks here. And SOS, on the other hand, is just taking it. His pylon placement allows him to spot Marines that might run by. You've seen that happen a lot, so wasn't going to try to hide anything there. But he's going to go for a 2 gas, 1 gate expand. This is a little bit of an odd build. Most people don't, you know, favor this type of strategy most of the time these days. But MVP, with the build he's chosen on a wide ramp map, and especially because SOS is now getting the Robo, he's going to have the ability to do so much damage against only sentries, and that's so much gas that SOS is going to lose when they fight.
You know, you're raising a really good point here. This is a map where you have this wide ramp at the natural, so you know exactly that it's hard to be to defend this, and this is where you just can attack this natural, because what are your sentries going to do? You cannot not force field this ramp continuously. You can force field it a couple of times, try to cut your opponent's forces in half, but you just can't block him the entire time.
Something that's really scary, though, for MVP, or not scary, but something that is going to run into a little bit of a dead end for him potentially, is that if he walks around the left side, where Keen normally goes in that little hallway, the pylon's going to spot him. But actually, in this case, he's going to check the watchtower first with a small group of Marines that looks like a normal size. Checks the watchtower, probably going to camp on it, in fact, and wait there. Then send the rest of his Marines rallied across, and when the second wave he's going to go...
Yeah, SOS is trying to take the watchtower now with one of his drones. Guess what? That's not going to happen.
Nope. No success.
No success, and here comes the Observer. He gets the Observer pretty early in the game now, but the thing is that MVP is already on the way with those Marines. He has 14 in total, and we see him with 4 being queued up over and over again. Double gas now for the Terran player as a follow-up, but this attack could do some damage. It all depends on SOS force fields.
Yeah, and even with good force fields, man, I just don't see him getting out of this for free. Let's see. Is he going to react? Luckily for him, the Observer is out the perfect moment, but he is not ready.
Yes, he's not ready. Those force fields are not good enough, and suddenly MVP is in position, moves his way into his opponent's army, takes down the first sentry, kills a couple of probes, and makes sure that Shy is going to get punished here.
Yeah, he is getting punished really hard. So many probes going down already. He can actually fight against the Stalkers a little bit as well. Probes have nowhere to run, really. They're going to actually engage in the fight, and SOS is going to lose way too many here. Every last probe going down that decides to fight. A few more Marines coming in, and MVP is actually going to have to stop rallying across the map. He needs to be cleaned up here, but the damage was certainly done.
The sentries are gone. The Marines are trying to get into the main base, get a few more scouting information, having a quick look what's up here. And right now, MVP, he killed 13 Harvesters. He's currently looking at 35 SCVs against 30 probes. Has those mules, has the third base on its way.
He's got a
third
bunker.
gas coming up. The bunker is there for the defense. This was a great attack.
Yep, SOS tries to chase and take out a few of those Marines going back, but he's not quite fast enough, so he's not going to be able to make that work. And he makes the perfect follow-up, I feel, here. As soon as he gets the scouts away, he makes that robotic support bay. That's what MVP was looking for with those Marines in the main, but he is basically forced to do this because he's got no other follow-up.
It's actually really funny because Paul is currently in the studio here together with the TSL coach. They're looking at the screen, and the entire time Paul was nodding. They're like, yeah, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
The force fields were just bad. If he had gotten the good force fields off, this would not have happened. Imagine that round of warp-ins after the Terran units have to wait at the bottom of the ramp. Then MVP would have been so behind.
MVP has a sick production here. Added 2 additional barracks, is going into +1 attack, is going for the stim as well. And SOS is trying to get the robotic spay with those Colossi. 2 bunkers, no way for SOS to attack here. At this point, he can't be too aggressive.
He's going to wait for his Colossi. He's going to hit with 2 Colossi in range. That's the normal way of doing things. If you look at the production tab, just look at how long it is for MVP versus SOS. That just goes to show that all he can make right now is literally a Pylon and a Colossus. Now he gets 1 more Sentry in, but he's got to be careful about how many of those he adds because he needs the gas for those Colossi. He's adding 2 Gateways, and he's going to go to the last one. Getting 3 here makes it look like he may go with just 1 Colossus.
And MVP is still ahead in the Harvesters. We see that SOS is not adding a single probe, and as I say, it starts his production again. Cut it out for a bit. But let's see if SOS is really trying to engage here and attack with those gateways that are about to finish. Stim will be done, Combat Shield as well, +1 attack is ready, the Marauders now on their way. MVP is taking a huge lead and now even taking the 3rd mineral line with his 3rd orbital.
Yeah, and the Colossus coming out here is going to be the 2nd one. He's got the range coming out, lines up nicely. Doesn't go with 1 with the timing of the gateways. He's going to wait, probably do 1 round of Warpins at home and then move out. And MVP, the only thing he's lacking is, of course, Vikings. Scans and kills an Observer. Combat Shields are going to be done, +1 is going to be done. He's going to have everything else he needs. And in fact, after these first 2 medevacs, if he starts Vikings blind just to be safe because he knows he's ahead, I'll be really jittery and excited.
Here comes the Marine.
No, he doesn't.
Tries to scout. And he does not see it.
That was actually so close.
That was
he scans.
Really close. Where does he scan though? Oh, he sees it.
He's like, well, I needed to see that, so let me scan again.
And here comes the Viking production.
Yep, no blind Viking, but you know what? When Vikings can see, it's a great thing.
He immediately moves back and he's like, okay, you're trying to hit a timing here, trying to hit me now. But look at the army supply. It's 71 against 63, already ahead, and with the production cycles that he has, he should be able to fight in a really good spot. Kills the forward pylon. The first few Vikings are now on the map, but still, he needs to get an angle to get those, Colossi down.
Yep. And he's trying. It actually...
There we go.
He gets an angle on the side, but it's not quite enough. But the Colossus needs to be targeted better here, I feel.
Even pulling the SCVs, he wants to be super safe against this. Wants to make sure that he does not die.
SOS, I could have targeted a little bit better, but I think MVP doesn't even need those SCVs at this point. He's just got so much production. He sends the SCVs back. He's got the 3rd base up now. His next wave of Vikings and Marauders is going to be enough to push this attack back.
Yeah.
SOS now feels a little bit awkward. He's like, well, I think he's got enough to hold me next time. Do I make a 3rd Nexus? I don't think that's going to work either. How does he move forward?
Is just making sure that he is not dying to the push, playing it super safe, and now he has the time to get all these Vikings into the game. He has 3, he will have 5 in just a few seconds, and SOS, he doesn't have a follow-up for this. He needs to attack here. He has 2 bases against 3. If he doesn't do damage, then he will lose the game, and he knows it. He has to do something.
He's up 40 supply. MVP is. SOS is making a pylon. That's all he can make. His gateways are on cooldown. He's going to try to take some of these Marauders out before the fight. And so far, a good angle, but MVP comes in from the side. He's got the concave. The force fields are excellent this time, but it doesn't matter. There's too much. He can't hold everything back.
The first Colossus is dead. The Vikings are targeting the next one. SCVs are moving in from the top. You have Marines and Marauders aiming for the Colossus. GG. Just too much. Too many units, too many angles to protect. And it is... What the hell just happened? Alright guys, sorry for that, but we had a weird thing in the studio here.
The guy who films the Code A logo was...
apparently with the bathroom or whatever, he ran in.
He needs to be studying a little bit more. He thought maybe SOS could have made the game go a little longer. But what we actually saw was the Marines ended the game early and SOS took a big risk trying to go for that Colossus push. Did not work.
Yeah. So there was just too much going on. MVP having the perfect angle in the last battle, and SOS knew that he just doesn't have a follow-up. He can't go for a 3rd base. He's already way behind. MVP had his 3rd up for an eternity. Really well played. 1-0 lead in the series for MVP.
MVP just, he executed a build and SOS missed his force fields. It comes down to as simple as that. I'm so glad he came back from the bathroom so we can get that 2-second shot that looks so beautiful.
Yeah. He really scared me for a second. He runs in, runs basically past us, grabs a chair and runs with the chair towards the middle of the, the middle of the stage, and I didn't even know who that was or what he was doing, but it was so weird, and I'm like, oh my god, what's going on here? Yeah, and it was just him apparently coming back to the bathroom, not expecting that game would be so short. Be it as it may, Game 2 is starting. Daybreak is the map in our Terran versus Protoss. It is, of course, the second game. LGIM's MVP is up against Wunjing Stars SOS. The Protoss player is down. He needs to win here to force Game 3. Can he do it? He had the GSL Code A Round 3 with Colin Wolf.
All over the radio and back up in the raves again. We got the crowd on the wave like